Hello, dear people, and welcome to episode 3 of Mediocre Wizards. I am Edward.
And I'm Philip, everyone. Welcome back.
Philip, how are you, man?
I'm not too bad, Edward. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well. I'm very well, thank you. Very well indeed. Would you like to hear? Would you like to hear how the deck that we built last time around, our green and black Nightmare Shepherd deck, played in the end?
I'd love nothing more. Ed. Let me know.
All right. Well, I've been scratching my head, and just to give results first, I'm pretty sure I went either 3-3 or 4-3. I don't think anyone's going to check this, so I'm just going to say 4-3. Pretty sure we went 4-3, and there were a couple of things. That I took away. Firstly, and I think we've kind of touched on this before, but it was just remembering what it is that your deck is designed to do. So this deck, although it had some good cards in it, like Nightmare Shepherd, for instance, or Gary. What's Gary's full name?
The Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
That's the one. The Grey Merchant of Asphodel, everyone. I'll refer to him as Gary. So had some good cards, but nothing sort of with any incredible amount of power behind it. So it was very much sort of, go broad, chip away where you can, and make the best use of cards such as Gary and Blight Breath Catoblepus. And I felt that in my second game against a red-blue deck that moved quite quickly in itself, but I remembered what it is that this deck wanted to do. I wasn't overly aggressive. I never chump attacked. I very rarely, if at all, chump blocked. And I was able to steadily chip away at my opponent's health. And in the end, just capitalized fully on how broad I'd gone through making very good use of Gary, casting him at an opportune moment. But also, by the end, I was actually able to finish my opponent off just through making full use of Lampad of Death's Vigil and just sacrificing, I think it was 5 or 6 creatures, and that did it. So that was a really good lesson there, because I suppose there are deck builds where you would want to, attack and block quite ferociously. But I remember, you saying to me that with this kind of deck in particular, you really don't want to be chump blocking or chump attacking, and I sort of took that in, and it definitely paid dividends.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it went so well, and that's a fine record, 4-3. Anytime you're breaking even or anytime you're breaking even or going positive is a good day. I mean, even the best players in Magic lose 1 out of every 3 games they play. So I mean, 4 out of 7 ain't bad. Let me tell you.
It was possibly 3, but it was definitely at least 3. I might be making up the 4th.
Nobody's gonna check it. Like you said, it was 4. It was 4. We believe it was 4, and therefore it was 4.
Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. And the other slightly, well, no, not slightly anything. The other sort of important takeaway I got from it was, again, like I said, when looking at that deck we built, to me at least, there weren't any bombs that leapt out of the page. And I know sometimes in some formats that can be more important than in others. But what we did have was a relatively low cost deck and a very good curve. And I was playing against one, as far as I could tell, mono blue deck that was pretty good in and of itself, but it was quite slow. And our deck, however, because of the way it was built, it just curved out very nicely, and I was actually able just to earn myself just a very normal, just playing a creature on turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and just hitting them for incremental amounts of damage each time. And it was those Temple Thieves that we were sort of bemoaning the fact that we had that actually ended up doing the most work. So that was also, a good lesson there.
We did bemoan the fact that we had them, but we put them in. right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
had that discussion where it was like, we need to play them. We need to put them in because you need to be doing something on two frequently. And that's a big difference between, I think, being a decent Magic player and a good one, is knowing that while the creature's not exciting, you need a couple of them anyway because they have a role, they fit a role.
Yeah, man. No, I couldn't agree more. So I think, those two lessons were very good to learn, and I'm sure they're lessons that I'll go on to sort of forget and learn again, and then grok a deeper learning, if you can use the word grok in that particular sense. But hopefully I've conveyed what I mean there. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed that deck, and I really enjoyed the one that we built for this particular episode, which is our first person draft. And as such, we did things a little differently. Philip, would you like to enlighten our listener or listeners?
Yeah, so essentially, given that it's a human draft, it's now timed, and you begin with a generous amount of time in your initial pick, in your initial pack, but that steadily decreases as you progress through the draft. What that meant is myself and Ed couldn't necessarily go in as much into depth as we would have liked to. And so, given that it was Ed's first experience of the setting of drafting in this manner, I led it more than Ed himself. We intend to keep it something similar, but as we progress through the draft and Ed becomes more familiar, we'll be able to have more in-depth discussions during the draft portion. So that would be nice. And then what we intend to do is to do the draft portion, or sorry, the deck build portion in tandem. So before we used to have Ed go off, build it, he'd come back and then run us through, and we would discuss possible changes. And that is still what we did this particular episode. But from here on out, from this moment forward, we intend to actually do that deck build live and have the discussion about cards and selection live, essentially. Yeah. So Ed, what do you think? Anything to add there?
No, man, that sounds great. And I think, yeah, as you mentioned before, this is very much a work in progress. It arose organically out of just, Philippa kindly agreeing to make a better draft player out of me. So again, we'll just adapt to the changes as they come, and hopefully we'll hammer out the best possible way of doing what it is that we're doing. And when we spoke earlier on this morning, Philip, about what we might discuss in the introduction, and I'm sure as our listener or listeners has already been able to tell, we've actually already drafted and I've already played at least one game. The deck that we put together, I really enjoyed playing with. It was an awful lot of fun, and you brought some interesting things up about both the deck itself and the drafting process this morning. I was wondering if you might like to share those.
Yeah, Ed, you touched upon it with your discussion about curving out, discussing the previous deck. This format, Ikoria, seems to be a lot about board presence, about getting on board, staying on board, and accruing sort of a board advantage. And so, in this week's draft, we sort of see the importance of early plays, tempo plays, staying on board, but also some of the other changes from the last Theros Beyond Death set is the importance of the high power cards as well. So having drafted, I must have done 50 drafts at this point, maybe more. It's very apparent that a deck without a couple of good rares and or uncommons is going to struggle a lot more, because the power level of some of the rares and the uncommons is so high. And so you'll see us in this draft opening a rare that's, well, not an S tier completely broken bomb, still a very strong card. And so what we try to do is find a lane that allows us to use that card while at the same time not forcing the draft. So we're trying our best to stay open, but in a manner that allows us to play the card that we opened. And so I find that that's probably one of the great things about this section. Something that this draft will really teach is when it's appropriate, not to hard force your first pick, but when the power it offers you is enough for you to try and make that first pick happen where possible. And also, as we go through that, that draft and the deck build and the game itself, we're focusing a lot on synergy. That's another big factor in Ikoria Limited, is your deck's synergy. It's a lot harder to get off with playing cards that don't synergize with every other single card in your deck in this format. And so throughout the draft portion, we're looking to pick and play cards that synergize well with each other and also with the powerful card that we hope to play. And so I think that's an important lesson to learn for Ikoria Limited, is to be synergistic. I think this draft process shows, I think, a reasonable way to do that, and how to value cards that in relation to your synergy, as opposed to just in a vacuum. How does that sound to you, Ed?
Oh man, no, I thought much like I said, much as you did this morning, I thought you summed that up really nicely, man, really nicely. And I think that leads, that'll lead us very, very nicely into showing this draft, if that's all right with you, sir.
Yeah, let's crack on, Ed, and I hope you all enjoy.
All right, yeah. Enjoy all. Let's share this draft. Okay, Philip, our first Ikoria draft.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, I can see. Pack one, pick one. What's jumping out at you, my man?
Okay, there's actually a lot of decent cards here. Skycat Sovereign is very strong. The ability to spend 2 white blue and create those tokens is amazing, and it's stronger. As you can see, it gets stronger for each creature flying you control.
Oh, fantastic!
So while I don't like picking a double colored card when we're in the draft at the very start, I think I might be inclined to pick this one. Now, I just, if you wouldn't mind moving the mouse, let me have a wee look what else we have here.
I thought that might be required. I can see a Thieving Otter.
Thieving Otter's good, but it's not. I don't think it's good enough for a pack one pick one. I also like Necropanther, the ability to mutate that creature and return another creature. But I think here Skycat Sovereign's good enough that we're going to pick it and try and get into blue and white. Yeah.
Okay. Skycat Sovereign it is. Very cute cat bird token as well.
So now we're going to try and make this work if we can, Ed.
Pack one, pick two. Philip, lead the way.
So straight away, we're trying to look at white and blue cards. So Splendor Mirror is a very good card. 3/3 lifelinker for 3. You can also cycle it to put a lifelink counter on something else. It's very good. Polywog Symbiote is also another excellent card, especially if you're doing mutate shenanigans.
Excellent. Yes, we've discussed that card before. Yeah, he's great. Yes. The Polywog Symbiote is great.
Yeah, and then other blue and white cards I'm interested in this pack. Pacifism's okay in this set, not great. Fight is 1 is also a good trick in this set. And then Capture Sphere is good removal, decent removal in this set. But none of them are ideal, but if we're going to be blue and white, we're going to need them. But I'd still prefer to pick up a good creature now.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think Polywog Symbiote is powerful enough that we should take it because it's a premium mutate target and kind of is both a payoff for being in mutate, while also being an enabler for mutate. So
I'll confirm that pick then, since time is tight.
Yeah, and ideally we want to pick up a Dreamtail Heron at some point.
Pack one, pick 3.
There's nothing very good for us here. Frostlinks is medium. Cavern Whisperer is a decent card. It's in black. We don't want to play that if we can avoid it. The Mythic in the pack, Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, is not a great card, actually.
Okay.
You have to pay 7 mana. Then you get to look at the top 5 cards of your library and put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. So a lot of times, while it is sort of card draw, it's quite expensive, right?
Yeah, 7 mana. That's no joke.
I think given that there's not much in the pack, I'm happy enough to take the Patagia Tiger, the 3/4 flyer.
Honestly, I was just looking at that. Yeah. Nothing fantastic, but a 3/4 flyer. With some additional text. It's not the worst.
You want to click on that? Click it.
Yep,
click it.
Got it.
Whoa. That was close.
Sorry. I can see another tiger.
Yeah. So pack 1, pick 4. I don't know. I don't want another tiger. I definitely don't.
Okay.
I don't want another tiger. Routing Moloch in this pack is good. The ability to buy back a cycling card is very nice. There's a combo with it, and the Go for Blood, the fight card that has cycle on it. There are just no good white or blue cards here, Ed. So I think the sensible thing here would to be pick up Dismal Backwater, the land. In the case that we end up blue-black splashing this sovereign, or we end up splashing a black card, that'll help.
So help to fix the mana.
Help to fix the mana. It's very important in this set.
All right.
Keeping our options open is more important.
Pack 1, pick 4, Dismal Blackwater. Okay, pack 1, pick 5, sir. I can see a Thieving Otter again. I can see another Frost Lynx with whom you're not particularly impressed. What are your thoughts?
Right, so here we have the Keensight Mentor, which the mentors are good. The mentors are good because they let you give a keyword to a non-human creature, and they also let you pump any of the creatures that have those keywords on them, which is very useful. Having said that, Keensight Mentor is probably one of the worst ones of it.
Excellent.
There is a spontaneous flight that allows us to give something else flying, which could be very useful. But it'll probably wheel. So at this point, Ed, I would take the Thieving Otter now.
Good stuff. I
like that card enough.
Thieving Otter is pack 1, pick 5.
Yeah, and then sorry, go on.
You go on. Pack 1, pick 6. Philip, please continue.
Well, this is a no-brainer. We grab that Dreamtail Heron and we dander on. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. We wanted to see one of those. A heron is flying, so it works with our Skycat Sovereign, but it's also a mutate creature and a damn good one at that, which works well with our Polywog Symbiote.
Wonderful. Okay, I was about to say, would you like to care for the listeners now? Would you like to explain for the listeners now we have some time? But you've already done so. So that's that. Pack 1, pick 7. Okay, man. There's a little bit of white and blue in here. There's even a tranquil cove. What's speaking to you, man?
I have been quite impressed with the Majestic Auricorn. So you can mutate it for 4, and then you get a 4/4 Vigilance, 4/4, and you get 4 life as well, which is brilliant. The life actually matters a lot in this set, I've found. And that will be my pickup now, for sure. And if the Auricorn wasn't in this pack, I'd take the Cove, the Tranquil Cove. Okay. I haven't been impressed with the other blue or white cards.
All right. Majestic Auricorn it is. Okay.
Vulpix, this is tough.
Glimmerbell.
Yeah, this is tough.
I'm speaking from zilch experience here. I'd be tempted by the Glimmerbell, just from what I've heard. What are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I think so. We have 2 good mutate creatures. And having good mutate targets is nice. So yeah, Glimmerbell would be nice here.
Glimmerbell it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I may have forgotten the last one. Sorry. Pack 1, pick 9. What's speaking to you, Philip?
That was perfect for us, the Helica Glider. The 2/2 squirrel that can have a flying or first strike counter on it. So
excellent. Okay.
Just works with our Skycat Sovereign.
Oh yeah, excellent. Okay. Helica Glider it is. Pack 1, pick 10. Light of Hope, Startling Development. Those are in our colours.
Yeah, Light of Hope is just not good. Starting Development's just not good. Starting Development's a high pick if you're in the cycling deck because it's a 1-mana colorless cycler. We're not in that deck. So I would take the Windscarred. Yeah, I'd take the Windscarred Crag here and give us the option to splash red if we wanted to.
Okay, Windscarred Crag. Okay. Really very little for us here. Sorry, pack 1, pick 11, everybody.
Yeah, Chris the Crab.
Chris the Crab.
Chris the Crab.
Chris the Flashy Crab.
Yeah, we'll take him. We'll take him, but he's not going anywhere.
Pack 1,
we'll
pick
take the Light of Hope now, I guess.
Light of Hope.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
We're not looking to play either of those cards, but.
All right. Pack 1, pick 13. Spontaneous Flight.
Yeah, I was thinking that'd come around for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll grab that.
Okay, Spontaneous Flight
Definitely grab that. You stick that in our otter, you see.
Oh, what the
That's the Spontaneous Flight. You can stick it on the otter, and then he can fly, and he'll draw us cards.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I've just sort of race through those. So Philip, pack 2, pick 1, man.
Well, now my little heart breaks because we have an Everquill Phoenix here, which is probably the best, one of the best cards in the set. And
Oh,
there's no way we can pick that.
Okay. Well,
Wait, hold on. Maybe there is. Maybe we can't pick it. Hold on.
Is it Farfinder?
Farfinder, maybe, but I'm still looking at this Everquill Phoenix here.
Mm-hmm.
If we cut because we could just cut the Helica Glider, the 2 Lights of Hope. We could splash and go blue-red. Is that greedy? It's a little greedy. There's nothing much for us in this pack anyway, Ed, so I'd be inclined just to take the Phoenix. Anyway.
Yeah, that seems to me a good shout, man. That seems to me a good shout. Yeah, if nothing's really speaking to us anyhow. All right, pack 2, pick 1. Everquill Phoenix.
Yeah, it's powerful enough that it's worth the risk.
Okay, I can see a counter spell here. Wingfold Terran. Archipelago.
Yeah, Archipelago is definitely the pick up here. You can mutate it for 6, and then it taps down one of the creatures for a turn or 2, and you can just get in. And just a 7/7 is just so powerful, especially if we manage to put it on one of our flying creatures. Stick that on a Glimmerbell or a Glider or something, and we're going to cause a lot of trouble. So, yeah.
Okay, Archipelago for pack 2, pick 2. I didn't click on. Why won't it let me click on that? Oh, there we are. I'm just being an idiot. There we are. Pack 2, pick 3. Facet Reader, a Human Wizard. Mothra's Great Cocoon. Chris the Crab.
Yeah, Chris, welcome back. Gem Razor and Zaggoth Mamba are the 2 best cards in this pack. Not enough. They're not good enough like Everquill was to have us consider taking one of them. So we're just not going to move off our color combination now for either of those cards.
Yeah, that sounds sensible.
So the option is pick up Dranath Healer as a cycler, or the Fast Reader as a way to draw cards. Neither are great options, and I would probably take the Facet Reader. I think.
Okay.
Just being able to draw a card a turn is useful.
Okay, man. Facet Reader.
We can't have too many humans in our deck.
Pack 2, pick 4. I see another Glimmerbell, another Convolute. Anticipate is here. Oh, Imposing Vandersaur. Now, cycling, a very, very good blocker. A vigilant blocker.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what your thoughts are here.
Imposing Vandersaur is a card that is fine, especially if you're doing the cycling thing. But it's also it's underwhelming if you have to cast it.
Yes.
So I would just take another Glimmerbell because Glimmerbell has flying, so it works with our Skycat Sovereign, and it's also a great target for the Archipelago.
Excellent. Pack 2, pick 5, sir. We've got another Facet Reader, a Ralgrin Crystal. Oh, that's blue, red, and white, which is, related to what we're doing.
Yeah, that is actually quite related to what we're doing, but the crystals are very slow.
Okay.
I don't like playing them very often. Having said that, we're not going to pick up much else here.
Anything Adaptive Shimmerer? Sorry to speak over, man. Adaptive Shimmerer or...
Nah, it's too expensive.
Yeah,
too expensive.
Fair enough.
So yeah, take the crystal head. Good eyes on that.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can work that in. Because
Right.
while Everquill Phoenix is double red, it's only single red to mutate.
Pack 2, pick 6. We don't want a Light of Hope. Coordinated Charge.
No, what we want here is...
Cove.
No, we want another Tranquil Cove.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Because if we have a couple of them in, just means that our mana base can be a lot... We'll have an easier time getting the red we need for Everquill Phoenix.
Fantastic. Yeah, okay. So more mana fixing. Tranquil Cove it is.
Yeah, because if we have 2 Tranquil Coves, that counts as 2 islands and 2 plains.
Yes. Oh, there's another Helica Glider. I don't know if we want another one.
Hey, I wonder, do we want another one? We probably do, Frostlinks, I would like one at this point. I mean, I know I was a little down on him, but it's a very nice way to get your Thieving Otters through.
Yeah.
You know, but I still think Helica Glider is the correct pick here.
Okay. Helica Glider it is for pack 2, pick 7. Okay. Pack 2, pick 8. Oh, man. That always happens.
It does, right?
It
But
does.
you know what? A third Helica Glider is still not a problem. You know, I would just pick a third Helica Glider here.
Yeah. Can I just, in the short time we have, convolute? Why not? Just not worth it?
It's follows off in the late game. So,
Okay.
like if it's a turn 3 card or whatever, or
Mhm.
in thereabouts, you're going to get the spell your opponent's casting. But if you draw it late, it's just useless because they can just pay the tax and it's a waste of your time.
Okay. Well, that was another Helica Glider. Okay.
Well, we're not going to play any of these cards, so I would just grab a Spontaneous Flight again.
Okay. Spontaneous Flight. Pack 2, pick 10. Great.
Again, we're not particularly interested in any of these either. Greater Sandworm's fine in the green decks because it's big boy, and you can cycle it away if you don't have the lands currently. So I would say just grab a Convolute for the deck, I guess.
There we go. Convolute. Chris is back.
At this point, I would just maybe take the Moth, because great Cocoon.
Yeah. Cool. That was my prize. Yeah. Oh, should we get another Convolute?
Yes.
To not play. Oh, sorry, everyone. Pack 2, pick 12. We're going for a Convolute that we're not going to touch. And oh man, can I just grab the Adaptive Shimmer just because he looks cool?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Is there a chance we might play the Facet Reader? I mean, I think we've got one already.
Nah, I don't see us playing 2. Given that we're kind of like a medium mutate deck.
Pack 1, pick 14. Can I go for the Crystal again because it's cool? Yep. I'm not sure we're teaching. Oh, it did it for me, and I think we'll have this land.
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Pack 3, pick 1.
Ooh, Lurrus. Let's look at Lurrus.
Lurrus of the Dream Den. Lifelink.
Right, so we're not going to do his companion thing. It's too late for that. But we do have a lot of 2s. We have a lot of 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're probably going to play 5 of them. So he's probably fine because a 3/2 Lifelinker is just fine. Yeah. What else is in the packet? Just
anticipate. There's an Essence Scatter.
I would love an Essence Scatter too.
Frost Veil Ambush.
Yeah, no. Now grab that Lurrus because it'll let us get our Skycat Sovereign back sometimes.
Cool, man.
And a 3/2 Lifelinker for 3 is fine.
Excellent. Lurrus is picked. Pack 3, pick 2. There's a Farfinder at the bottom there. There's that Keen Sight Mentor again with 1 mind. Another Frostlinks.
Yeah, this is a tough pack. Let me see. Earl Everquill Phoenix at this point is getting to be pretty free. Because of the mutate cost being only a single red. So I think we should probably pick up this Farfinder.
Farfinder it is. Okay.
Because Farfinder will allow us to play more Magic in general, but it'll also let us search up whatever we need.
Pack 3, pick 3. Sorry, mate.
Okay, so we're light on removal, aren't we? We very little removal.
Yes, very little.
So the question is... Yeah, I think we do. I find that to be an issue. So I think we should take this Blade Banish. Yeah. We need some sort of removal.
Yeah, I would quite like to go for another Otter, but I think you're right.
Me too.
Let's hope the Otter comes back around. Pack 3, pick 4. There's another Dreamtail Heron. Mystic Subdual. I don't know if that quite counts as removal.
Mystic Subdual's been okay for me. It's not great.
Yeah,
not great, but it's been okay. I would just take the Dreamtail Heron. It's perfect for our deck. We don't have that much top end, so we don't.
No, actually, we don't. As we often seem to do that.
Well, it's just nice because it just means. Okay, hold on. So do we want?
Oh, sorry. Pack 3, pick 5, everyone.
Do we want the Fight as 1 trick that gives target human and non-human +1/+1 indestructible until the end turn, or do we want Anticipate? I think given that we have two very powerful cards. No, three technically very powerful cards in our deck. I think we do want the
The
Anticipate.
anticipate. Yeah. And also, do we have a human? I'm sure we have.
We have one, but it still can give your creature,
Non-human,
your non-human creature +1/+1 and indestructible. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So it's just like a 1 mana sea of anything, which is kind of very useful at times. I would just take the Vulpikeet here, Ed.
Vulpikeet for pack 3, pick 6. That's fine. All right, everyone. Pack 3, pick 7. Savai Sabers. 3/1. Hampering Snare. Keep Safe. The underwhelming Imposing Vantasaur.
Oh, yeah. Ed, if you wouldn't mind, would you just click the top bar there and check our curve for me quickly? How many 2-drops do we have?
There we go. Oh, we need to pick something.
Savai Sabertooth.
Oh, return to draft. I think we might have missed that one.
It looks like your connection's actually bottomed out, Ed.
I'm here. I'm here.
Come back.
Okay, sorry. We're on pack 3, pick 8.
Right, well, we wanted the Savai Sabertooth there, but it doesn't really matter.
Sorry, man. I'm not sure what happened.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
5 seconds.
I would take the Hampering Snare.
Okay.
Simply because these cards don't matter. They just don't matter. So
pack 3, pick 9, man. Pack 3, pick 9. Another Spontaneous Flight.
Given that we already have 2, I can't just run in that.
Swiftwater Cliffs, blue and red.
Yeah, Swiftwater Cliffs. Yeah, it's the pick for sure.
Okay, man. Pack 3, pick 10. Windscarred Crag or Frostlinks?
Let me think. We already have one Windscarred Crag. We already have one of the Cliffs and a Farfinder, which means we have the 3 sources we need.
Cool.
So I would probably grab Frosty, yeah.
Yeah, good. Thieving Otter, sir?
Nice. I'm glad we grabbed that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on pack 3, pick 11, Thieving Otter. There we are. What's this Frostvale Ambush business? Any good? Oh, very expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. It's used most of the time as a 1-mana cycler for the cycling deck.
Should I go for it?
Yeah, just grab it. We'll not play it, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. Oh, Fighters 1. There we go.
We'll play that. We'll definitely play that.
There we go. So pack 3, pick 13, Fighters 1. Phase Dolphin for pack 3, pick 14. And Tentative Connection for our final pick. Wow, that was quick.
Right, it's tough.
Incredibly quick.
If you're not used to it, right?
Yeah, no. I think listeners, we have not actually recorded the introduction yet, but we will do. But as we will say in the introduction, as you probably could tell, Philip massively took the lead here since he has, he is the teacher. He is the teacher, and I have no experience with person draft yet. So we decided that, that there's no other way of actually doing this other than, Philip taking the reins. But if it's okay with Philip for the now, we will leave you for a moment while I put together what I feel to be a deck, and then the usual conversation will ensue before we play a game. How does that strike you, Philip?
Yeah, that sounds perfect to me. I'm happy with that.
All right then, everyone. See you soon. All right, Philip. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm well, Ed. I'm well. I am well.
Would you like for me to explain myself?
Yeah. Run me through what your plan is, what you felt we were trying to achieve in the draft, and then how this deck reflects that.
Okay, man. Well, it's very, very creature heavy. If I just open this, not this. Sorry, everyone. We'll have that. If I just open this thing up here, we have a total of 18 creatures and only 5 non-creature spells. So our win condition, Philip, is creatures. I appreciate that's quite vague for the time being, but that's where we are. At the bottom, we have an incredibly affordable instant, Fighters 1. And it's great because we can choose something. It's mostly great because we can choose for something that we would very much like to protect, one of our mutant creatures with indestructible. So very, very happy that's in there. In our 2-drop slot, we have Glimmerbell, a good card in and of itself, I believe, but also an excellent target for Mutate. Speaking of Mutate, we have this Polywog symbiote here. Again, the same body as good old Glimmerbell, but it makes our Mutate creatures and the Mutate cost itself more affordable. Next, we have one of our kingpins, Sky Cat Sovereign. I think something that once you see it, you really need to have an answer for. And I think early or late game, whenever we were to play that, it would have value. And you were telling me that there aren't a great many mana sinks in this particular format, but here we have an excellent mana sink. Not only will we have a 1/1 white flyer to play with either offensively or defensively, it will also add to Skycat Sovereign's power and toughness. And we have our Anticipate.
Actually, Ed,
Yes,
just going to cut you off there for a second. Sorry.
Please do.
Probably a mistake that I made in the draft there was we had an opportunity to take a coordinated charge, maybe 2 opportunities to take it.
Yes.
I don't recall now what we had taken, but it might have been sensible to grab just one of those, and the off chance that, given how heavy in creatures we are, plus having a Skycat Sovereign, which is designed to make many smaller creatures, the coordinated charge might have paid off. And the risk isn't the same as it used to be anymore because you can cycle it for 2. So if it's just dead, you can just cycle it. So putting one into your deck it has less inherent risk. So probably should have picked one of those up. But we'll know that for you.
Yeah, that's a little bit of learning there, and then I'll round off these 2 drops, I suppose. Anticipate, since we have some cards, such as Lurus, the Everquill Phoenix, this monster over here, that will be very, very nice to draw into. And before I go any further, man, just those 1 and 2 drops, how are you feeling about that as sort of a base?
Yeah, I would keep all of those. I think that's correct. Glimmerbell is a good target for our Oracorn, our Archie the Archipelago. Archipelago. And then Polywog Symbiote's great because not only does it reduce the cost of our mutate creatures, but every time we cast a creature spell, regardless of whether we actually mutate it onto something, if it has mutate, so if we're casting for its hard cast cost or its mutate cost, we get to draw and then discard a card. So now that's not optional, which is worth remembering, but it's almost always correct to loot when possible. So being able to see more of our library and discard something is so worthwhile. So worthwhile.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, well, I'm glad we're in agreement there. I'll do the 3s and the 4s next. I went for 3 Helica Gliders. I think it's very nice to have that versatility. Given that we seem to be going for a flying theme, I can imagine they're mostly coming on with flying counters, but it's very nice to have that first strike option. I've kept in both Thieving Otters, again for the the card draw, and potentially to help him out, spontaneous flight. If they have nothing that can block a flyer, then I think that would work well with the Thieving Otter, and it would make it more of a significant bit of damage. It will be 4 damage as opposed to 2. So I've kept a couple of those in. We have Lurus of the Dream Den here, not as our companion, but as you were saying during the draft, 3/2 lifelinker for 3 is no bad thing. And there's a Farfinder in here to help us fix our mana for the Everquill Phoenix, which is going to work very, very well. I think, like you were saying, with our Polywog Symbiote there, if things really go our way, again, like you were saying, we could get this Everquill Phoenix out turn 3 and attack turn 3, and create a feather token. So that would be really wonderful. Just jumping up, I put in Chris the Crab. I'm not going to explain myself. I put in Chris the Crab. There's a Volbekeet there. A little bit for, I kind of wanted to fill these slots. I didn't really have much else to put in. 2-3 is okay. Flying
If it
again.
mutates, if it mutates, it's a 3-4.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think Vobke and Chris the Crab, solid picks. And Blade Banish, I think that is our one removal spell. So I'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
I'm really glad nothing like agonizing remorse exists, does it?
Memory leak, unfortunately, does exist in this role relatively frequently.
Cool. All right. Well, I look forward.
But they're not going to take your Blade Banish. Don't worry. They're going to take like they're going to take your Archipelago or your Gentle Heron or your Sky Cat Sovereign. So.
You say that now. We'll see what it's like in game. Says the man who's played no Ikoria drafts. The Majestic Oricorn, mostly for how majestic this particular creature does indeed look. But again, mutates. We get 4 life. I know, well, actually, you were saying life does matter a bit more in this format than it usually might. Obviously, remaining above 0 life. There we go then. So again, a mutate target and vigilance, which might not be the best keyword or whatever the term is there, but it's not a negative. Couple of Dreamtail Herons, I just think a great card, really great card. Flying again, mutate ability. And we can get some more card draw there. So I'm really excited about that. And at the top end, we've got this 5 and 2 blue monster, a Leviathan. And again, if we could, mutate this onto something, tap the most pertinent blocker, and then just go through for 7, that would be a lovely thing. But we'll have to see. I've never mutated a creature in all my life. So we'll have to see how well I get along with it. But Philip, that is the rundown of the deck. What say you, sir?
Yeah, man, I like it. I like the look of it, big time. Lurrus is really nice as well because Lurrus lets us cast permanent cards from a graveyard once a turn if he's alive. And our one of our best cards is a 2-drop, the Sky Cat Sovereign. So having him around to let us cast the Sky Cat Sovereign is always nice.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
To get that Sky Cat Sovereign back, and being able to cast the Polywog, which again, that Polywog symbiote is one of the best cards in our deck as well. Being able to cast that again if they deal with it, be able to cast our Glimmer Bells again. It's Lurrus just offers us an awful lot. So I really like that. And then the Farfinder too. Not only does it fix for our red, but it just gets our 4th land. If you draw a hand and you have 3 lands and you don't get your next land, you'll be very glad to have a Farfinder in there because it can just push you 1 more land up and get you closer to where you want to be. Because essentially, once we get to 4 lands, we're more or less sorted. Our deck's kind of at its more or less its maximum functioning capacity because every card in our deck technically costs no more than 4 apart from Archipelago because we have a mutate cost on the Herons and the Oricorn for 4.
Yes.
So having Farfinder there to just get our 4th land if we need it is going to help a lot, and let our deck function, not to its fullest capacity, but more or less to its fullest capacity. And vigilance makes for a great mutate target. We getting to put Archie on a vigilant creature means that we can swing with a 7/7 and also hold the same 7/7 back to block, which mitigates the fact that we have essentially used 2 cards to build the 7/7. Given that we have mutated onto a Farfinder, if it's vigilant, we feel less of that impact of having essentially 2 for wonder saves and to making 1 creature because we can attack and block. So it counts as a creature on offense and on defense, which makes up for putting our eggs in 1 basket essentially.
Yeah. No, I completely follow you there. Yeah.
As for cuts, then what would I cut here? Well, we can get. I'm sure you saw this coming out. But we're gonna have to cut Chris. He's gonna have to leave.
See you later, Chris.
Yeah, he's just not up to
it. Okay. I understand.
How many flyers in total do we have, Ed?
Is that something that you can tell from here? Does it tell you?
No, it does not.
Okay. That is useless. It's not useless. It is not useless. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's good. That's very good.
10 flies.
Okay, so we're probably not forced into playing that Batavia Tiger then. Or Batavia Tiger, whatever you pronounce it. We're probably not forced. It's not good enough. Probably not forced into playing it now because we have 10 flyers anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. I would probably add back in the Facet Reader.
Okay.
It's not a great card.
We can loot.
Maybe though. Well, hold on. Before we do that, how many mutate creatures do we have? Our Archer, 2 Herons, and our Ikoria and Volbeat. That's 5. Abercorn Phoenix is 6. And then, okay, so we have 6 mutate creatures. So every human we run really does put us in a kind of a rough place if we have 6 mutate creatures.
Frosty?
Facet. Yeah, maybe we could put in Frosty, yeah.
Looking, you said some very unkind things about the Phase Dolphin in the past.
Yeah, the Phase Dolphin doesn't offer as much, right? I mean, it can help with our Thieving Otters, but the point is the Phase Dolphin then needs to be able to attack. So you're like, okay, so we need the Phase Dolphin to be able to attack so we can make sure our Thieving Otters get through. So what we'll do is we'll mutate our Dreamtail Heron onto the Phase Dolphin so that we can attack with the Phase Heron now, which means our Thieving Otter can get through. But then you could also cut out that entire system wherein you just mutate onto the Thieving Otter and you don't have a Dolphin, you know?
Yeah.
And then your deck's better. Your deck's better. It really hurts me because I love the artwork in the card. I think it's so cool, but it's just very underwhelming. So
underwhelming Dolphin.
Yeah. Well, okay. I tell you what, we can definitely run another Mothra's Great Cocoon, or run a Mothra's Great Cocoon. It's not a great card, but we only have 4 mutate targets in our 1 and 2 drop slot, and that's probably not enough.
Okay, interesting.
It's probably not enough. You know, 4 is pretty ropey. And then I don't necessarily consider the Skycat Sovereign to be a very good mutate target, just given that our opponent's going to really try really hard to kill that. And so putting more eggs on top of that could be very, very ropey. You know?
Yeah, no, completely.
So I would say we now with Mothra we have 4 viable ones.
Yeah,
and that's just about enough. That's not a great card, but we don't want to see it late, really. But if it's in our open hand, it's really nice. So I think it's worth putting it in just to really, what do you call it, maximize what we're trying to do here, because that's what this set is all about, maximizing what your cards do together, your synergy. So I think we'll take the odd occasion where we draw Mothra's Cocoon turn 10. And we might lose the game because of it. But then it's better saying it's still. But then also the question is, would we have won that game if we were playing a Phase Dolphin instead of the Cocoon? And I don't think we would have. Any game that the Cocoon loses you, the Phase Dolphin probably loses you as well.
So. That's fair dues, man. Fair dues. Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if I like the 2 spontaneous flights.
Yeah.
Given that what Mothra's Great Cocoon, Poliwag, 2 Otters, Lurus are like the only creatures that don't fly, and the Oracorn, and Archer.
What if we took out one? I mean, I'm only going back to Frosty because I can't see what else we put in. What if we took out one of the spontaneous flights and threw in the Frostlings?
I suppose. Well, then we have to ask ourselves the question: what is Frostlings going to do for us?
He is a Frosty Gate for the Thieving Otter you've told me to not be so attached to.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I mean, if we just don't have Thieving Otter and we just have a Frostlings and that's our turn 3 play, like, are we happy with that?
Probably happier than if we have an additional spontaneous flight with nothing to cast it on.
That is true, but then, Ed, we do have, 19 creatures, 18 creatures? So, I mean, what's the chances we don't have anything to cast spontaneous flight on? I mean, if that's the case, are we winning that game anyway?
So, something's gone very wrong, actually, yeah.
Precisely, right?
Fair dues.
Precisely. So I suppose it's a question of, do we take the chance, because the Facet Reader is the best card here, and then it is probably better in a vacuum than both spontaneous flights, right? But then also, is the ability to loot or the hands wherein we draw fast reader first, and then don't have a mutate target on turn 3, because with our Vulpix can mutate on turn 3. I suppose that's about it. But then I suppose that is about it. I mean, everything else is turn 4 most of the time. The looting ability is very useful.
Why don't we just swap out one spontaneous flight and put in one facet reader? Our one
We
facet
could do
reader.
that. We could do that. There's also an argument for playing just the 5 mana 3/4 flyer as well. Because we can, you can technically drag Vulpix down to like a 3-drop because it's a mutate target, and then you can put the Herons in your 4-drop slot, and then you can actually put the Orcon cannon in your 4-drop slot. And then we actually have no 5s. Then we have no 5s whatsoever. Or at least we can count Majestic Orcon to Dreamtail Heron as both 5s and 4s.
Yeah.
So now we have, I suppose the question is, how often are we going to have, because we have to also sink 1 mana to use Facet Reader, though. We have to sink 1 mana to use it every time we want to use it, And we're never going up on cards, we're simply card selection, or at least filtering. But given that we have what amounts to, I would say two bombs, maybe that card draw is more valuable to us. Because the Fast Reader, if we get it, yes, okay, we can't mutate onto it, but it's going to dig us closer to the cards that are going to end the game for us. Our big winners.
Yeah,
it's a really, really tough one. This is a really hard pick. Because I think you could easily run the Tiger or the Fast Reader or the Frostlings. You could even consider one of the Crystals just because it has cycling.
Yeah.
And you also could happily just consider running the 2 spontaneous flights as well. But spontaneous flights only really hit the others.
Yeah. No, I think probably 2 is a bit too many. So let's have a look at this. Patagia Tiger, 5 mana, 3/4 flying. Enters the battlefield target human you control gets +2/+2. That's obviously irrelevant for us. So we've got 5 mana, 3/4 flyer.
Which is essentially just a worse Dreamtail Heron.
Yeah. I'd be tempted, as I confess, I think the crystals are cool, but that is not a reason to play them. I would be tempted by the Facet Reader. I'd take out 1 spontaneous flight and chuck in a Facet Reader. I'd like to keep 1 spontaneous flight because we are very, very creature heavy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think we should definitely have 1. I agree with that.
It might help us get out of a jam. I mean, if this gentleman was flying, that would be great.
Yeah. I mean, the dream is to put him on a Glimmerbell or a Glider.
Yeah. And then we've got this. So this would be something of a fail safe. So if I do this, take out one of them. There we go. Got the Facet Reader in.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit there, Phil.
Ed, I believe I've lost you.
Oh, can you hear me at all? Hello?
You're back now. Sorry, you're back.
Yes. Now. Okay.
Hello.
That's I'll tell you what. Why don't I do some claps and I can just do a quick bit of editing there?
That's 100%, and then we'll just have to do the lands as well.
Yeah. Okay. And all right, man. I'm feeling pretty good about all of that. What do you think of the land situation?
I think we're pretty close on the lands, Ed. I think we're running 1 mountain too many. I think 3 is more than enough.
Okay.
So I would cut 1 of the mountains because Farfinder counts as a source, right?
Yeah. And we've got this.
So between
Farfinder.
Yes, between Farfinder, Windscarred Crag,
and the Swiftwater Cliffs.
So Swiftwater Cliffs. Sorry, yeah. And a mountain that gives us 4 sources because we can draw the mountain, the Swiftwater, the Windscarred Crag naturally, and if we don't draw those naturally, and we do draw a Farfinder, then we can go and search up the mountain that we didn't find. So So that's 4 sources is more than enough to cast
Our Everquill Phoenix.
Yeah, but I suppose for anyone watching who is not 100% sure how mana bases work or how splashing works, and how casting costs affect such a thing, because we haven't had a lot of sets that were really 3-color sets in the last few sets that we have had. It's probably a skill a lot of people are missing. So we are not looking to cast Everquill Phoenix for its 2 red, because in order to do that, we would need 2 red sources, and it's actually, it doesn't mean we add twice as many lands. It's a little bit more difficult than that. And in fact, we need to add a lot more red sources to be able to cast Everquill Phoenix for 2 red. But I suppose the way splashing works, if we're looking to cast Everquill Phoenix for its mutate cost, a 4-drop with 1 red in it, we'll probably not cast that on curve. It's unlikely. We'll probably cast it a couple of turns later. And 3 is about the magic number for that. 3 sources is the magic number. And with having Farfinder in the mountain, we have 4 sources. So we can be pretty confident that if we do draw Everquill Phoenix, we'll either have the land available to us or we'll shortly have the land available to us. Now, of course, the other question is, how often can we reliably mutate the Everquill Phoenix? Because if we can't reliably mutate it, then all of our work, all of our land, I suppose our land calculations, are all for naught. But given how many non-human creatures we have that cost less than Everquill Phoenix, we should always have a target for this when it's in our hand, unless our opponent has done some very nutty stuff, and just wiped our board. That's why I was quite keen that we would add the Mothra's Great Cocoon.
Yeah.
Because although as a card it's not great, given that we kind of just fell short of having enough creatures to cast or mutate cards onto, I think that Mothra's Great Cocoon just really stabilizes for us. And makes sure that we can get that mutate cost off. So like I said, so we can essentially look at Everquill Phoenix as having a casting cost of 3 in a red, which means that we only need to add our 3 sources, and that would give us. That would essentially give us, by the time we get to about turn 4, 5, or 6, we would have probability on our side to draw one of our sources. Because if we have 4 sources, if you imagine just purely, this is very reduced mathematics, but 4 sources means that every 10 cards, essentially, we should see one of them, which means the 7 cards in our opening hand plus 3 additional cards should leave us at having seen 1. Now that obviously doesn't really work that way, because we also need to see Everquill Phoenix as well for us to actually care about it. We actually need to have both to care about it. So but statistically speaking, we're likely to have a red source after we've seen about 10 cards, which is where we want to be.
And we do have a smashing of card draw, anticipate the Otter, Dreamtail Heron. So I suppose that also helps to increase the likelihood that we will draw into these things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another reason why the Fast Reader is so good. It can help us dig for the land that we're missing, or help us dig for one of our bombs, or if we need an answer, it can help us dig for an answer. So I was, not inclined to play him because we were such a focused mutate deck with flying thrown in. We're like a mutate flying deck. I was quite hesitant to throw the Fast Reader in, because just seeing him in a mutate creature in your open hand is going to feel bad. But the versatility that he offers us, and the likelihood that we will draw another creature that we can mutate onto, means that I will take the hit in tempo if I want to play him and maybe cast a mutate creature a turn later. I think it'll be worth it, because he just gives us he'll dig us out of a lot of holes. A lot of people just don't really want to kill this guy. They want to keep their removal for mutate creatures, mutate targets. So he'll probably stick around most of the time.
Long live Facet Reader. And I suppose potential target for our Fighters 1. There we go.
It does turn it on, right? And I suppose one last thing, Ed, we're obviously 1 land down now.
We want an island, I'm guessing, with an archipelago.
We intend to mutate him, so that's very unlikely.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yes, and
Lurus.
yeah, we do want to have more for Lewis. That's what I was thinking. So
Mm.
go check your box there. It'll tell you how many mana symbols you have of each.
10 white, 11 blue.
Okay, so we're pretty
Uh,
evenly split. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm, mm,
Okay. Well,
mm.
then let's look at when we want to cast our cards, and then that'll give us a better feeling for it, right? So Martha's Great Cocoon requires no particular color of mana for us. Fight is
Mhm.
one, doesn't count. Essentially, you can drag that.
Yeah.
Just drag that over to the Dreamtail Heron for now, because that's around when you're probably going to cast it.
Okay. There we go.
And you can shift. You probably shift both of the spontaneous flights out as well. Or one of them, sorry, move it over beside the Heron because we're all unlikely to cast it. Like on turn 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in our 2-drop slot that require blue, and one card that requires white. And then in our 3-drop slot, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that require white, one of which requires double white, and 2 cards which require blue. So we are more inclined towards blue.
Yes.
Sure, but we do have a double.
We do
white
have that double. Yeah, we do have that double cast.
Now let's see. We have the Tranquil Cove, so that counts as one, both a blue and a white, so plains and a swamp. So we're currently running. Just counting that, we're currently running 7 and 7, which is fine. Then the Swiftwater Cliffs brings us to 8 and 7, and then the Windscar Crags brings us to 8 and 8. So, given that information, that we're 8 and 8, I would be more inclined to run an island. I think the one plains that we add in won't make enough of a difference on average that we'll be able to cast Lurus reliably. Whereas the one island just makes it a lot more likely that we can cast the rest of our cards.
There's a lot more. There is a lot more blue there in our early game, and then
early games all blue.
Yeah. Okay. So let me go here, and let me add. Oh, I can just go like this, can't I? I can go like that, and I can go down. I can find these and add. Yep. There we are. Okay, man.
So that leaves us with what? That leaves us with 9. That leaves us 9-8 split. Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable split. I'm very glad that we picked up those lands, man. Because if you look at it, a 9-8 split is your average. A 9-8 split is your average split for a deck. And being able to run a 9-8 split while also having the perfect amount of card or the perfect amount of sources to splash reliably, that makes all the difference in the world.
Anxious is the wrong word, but I've never actually played with an all Ikoria deck, so I'm it's like a tiny bit anxious, but I'm also really excited. I like all the flyers that we have here. I'm very excited to sort of get underway with mutating, and it's really good to have picked up interesting cards like Everquill Phoenix and Lurus and the Skycat Sovereign. And I've heard an awful lot about this Farfinder individual, so that's great.
I'm moving towards the direction where I think Farfinder's overrated.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. He was really big. A lot of people really.
Oh, I've lost you.
Talking about him a lot. Most Dominaria, which I didn't play Dominaria at the time, so I wasn't part of that system. But it seems to make a lot of our gut instincts about this format being slow have turned out to not necessarily be true. Like a lot of games are decided, they might go somewhat long, but they're decided very early by efficient players. And Farfinder, well, I mean, as far as board presence goes and things that you can do to affect the board on turn 3, a 1/1 vigilance isn't much, right? So I'm a little lower on him than he was before. I still think you should pick him up, but also I think you should be very aware of how focused your deck is. And if you're a very focused 2-color deck that's trying to be somewhat fast, the Farfinder is just not necessary. I think a lot of times it will slow you down unnecessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I think in our situation, justified though, right? And then
Oh,
another
absolutely.
mutate target. It
Yeah,
being
absolutely. Oh, in our situation, so justifiable because of how how reliably it will allow us to play this Everquill Phoenix. The Everquill Phoenix is good
mm,
enough, um, and there are a lot of great creatures in this set, but genuine recursive, hard to kill threats are the best of the best when it comes to bombs. So being able to
yeah,
cast Everquill Phoenix, it's just like if we can cast them and reliably mutate them, which we can given our deck, it's set up only to mutate them. Your opponent's going to have a really hard time. And another thing worth mentioning is if we mutate onto Everquill Phoenix again, so imagine we mutate the Everquill Phoenix and then 2 turns later we stick Archie on him, we get another token, another artifact, another feather, right? So now imagine if you have an Everquill Phoenix that's actually an Archipelago now, it's a 7/7 flyer, and there are now 2 things that say when this creature dies, bring it back, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So like it's
Fantastic,
just like yeah, it's so
fantastic.
the Farfinder is worth it for us, even if it is somewhat
Mm,
it can be somewhat slow, but it's just worth it to fix for that because if a lot of games if you cast that and your opponent can't deal with it, it's just game over.
mm, mm. Hey man, thank you once again for the lesson. Is there anything you'd like to say by way of closing?
Oh yeah, a couple just some advice then. So don't always mute it.
Okay.
Uh, that your inclination is to mute it as often as you can, but it's just that phrase that don't put all your eggs in one basket. It is
Yeah.
very true. I
Yeah.
think the removal spell could really blow you out. So I suppose being aware of how the game's developing, and knowing, okay, if you already I'll play a scenario right actually here for us. So let's imagine turn 1 we didn't do anything. Turn 2 we just cast Anticipate, digging
Hmm.
for our 3rd land, right? And we
Hmm.
found our red source, right? So turn
Hmm.
3 we play our 3rd land, we play a Thieving Otter, right?
Hmm.
And then turn 4 we draw our land, we mutate the Everquill Phoenix onto the Thieving Otter, get in for 4, um, get our little feather token, and draw a card. Like
Draw a
that's
card.
a really nice. We've done very well thus far. Right? So then turn 5, we have the option. We have a Dreamtail Heron, right? So it's like we can mutate this onto the Everquill Phoenix, and then we get another feather token, and we get to draw another card, and then we get to hit for 4 and draw another card, right? And that seems kind of cool. But at this point, mutating the Dreamtail Heron onto the Everquill Phoenix
Mm.
won't change its base power.
Yeah.
It'll still be a 4/4 because we would put it underneath the Everquill Phoenix. And we're just putting all those eggs in our basket, and it's like, do we really need to draw another card on top of that? We're
Yeah. And
already going to
also,
get a card if we connect. Sorry, go on it.
no, I say also there's also value in going broad, you know.
Precisely.
Uh yeah, okay. So
So like in a situation like that I've explained, like 9 times out of 10, I'd like to think it's just right to cast your Dreamtail Heron for 5. You know,
mm,
just have another body. If they do kill
yeah.
your Phoenix or whatever, if they're forced to kill your Phoenix, you'll lose your Otter, you'll lose your Phoenix. You can bring the Phoenix back. You have the Heron there. You can stick Archipelago on that, or you can just keep getting in for 3 in the air while you bring your Phoenix back. I think it's So yeah, don't always mutate. Read the board, see if it's better here if we just go broad. Am I so in control of the game that I should just keep going wide and make it harder for my opponent? And in certain situations where you're just like, okay, I'm really stuck here. I need this mutate triggers for whatever reason. Like say you just needed that extra card because you knew you didn't have what you needed to win. You could then It might be right to then double down on mutate on top of Everquill Phoenix with the Heron just to draw the extra card if you need it. Like say
Yeah.
if I don't draw if I don't draw my Skycat Sarvin, if I don't draw my Blade Banish, if I don't draw my um fight as one, I've lost this game, then it's right to double down. But the further ahead you are, I think the less the less inclined you should be to mutate to make a mutate stack.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed that whole thing. I enjoyed the person draft. I enjoyed the time. I'm looking forward to getting more familiar with that, and really enjoyed putting that deck together. Thank you for all of the learning. And yes, I suppose now it's again, if that suits you, it's onto a game.
Yeah, I reckon so. That's what we should do. Let's get in here and test this baby out.
All right then,
Excited.
sir. Okay, Mr. Philip, go time.
All right, Ed. Well, best of luck, my man.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'm very excited. Very excited.
Yeah, I do wonder how long it'll take to get a game, given that the new season's just started.
Okay, well, oh, there we go. There we go. I was about to say we could possibly edit that out, but yeah, no need. No need.
All right, Ed. Well, that's me. I'll be up and out then. Good luck.
All right, thanks, ma'am. Okay, so we have our 3 colors of mana. We're on the play. We've our Skycat Sovereign, our Helica Glider, Vulpikeet, and Glimmerbell. Yeah, I will most certainly be keeping that. Keep 7. Thank you very much. So let's get this white. This planes out. Now, I don't know if is it best to, let's get this Glimmerbell out. Yes. Let's get that Glimmerbell out, and then that Glimmerbell will make this Skycat Sovereign slightly less vulnerable. Yeah, I think that's sensible. I can get the Skycat Sovereign out. Oh, I could also get the Helica Glider, actually. Okay. There we are. So that gentleman's thinking. So he is Plains and Swamp. Let's see what he does. All right, nothing as of yet. There's the Polywog symbiote. So there's nothing. Oh, that can mutate. So turn 3, mutate onto the Glimmerbell. I'm not sure it's really worth it yet. I think I'd rather go broad. I hope that's the correct play. Let's have you with flying. There we are. We will attack with the Glimmerbell there. Okay. And I think I could get... let's have a think. So he's... Okay, plain, swamp, and green. So if the Polywog... What are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? What am I thinking? If the Polywog goes out, mutate your card. Okay. So 3/3, Lava Brink Venturer, even. Okay. So protection from each convertment. Okay, cool. That makes sense. I know this stuff. So let's play. Now, do I want to get... I'll tell you what. If I mutate... why not get this Polywog out, actually? Let's get the Polywog out. And that'll set me up to mutate if I want to. And Skycat Sovereign? Or is that too much out at any one time? Well, it's not going to attack now anyway, so let's just attack with those 2. Swing there. Okay, and then... Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so nice and broad, and we've got a Vulpikeet in hand. So 3/3. I could always just... So I can mutate that onto the Polywog. So if nothing happens here, I can go for at least 6 in the air. I think my math is right. Yeah, 6 in the air next time. He's still got 4 mana up. Any removal? Okay, Day Squad Marshal. When he enters, get one. Okay. Yeah, let's play a Windscarred Crag. There we are. And I think so that'll be cheaper. I'd quite like to mutate. So let me just see how this works. Yeah, mutate, great. Onto Glimmer Bell. There we go. So discard a card. Do I want the Finder? Or keep the Finder or Spontaneous Flight? I don't really need the mana at the moment. Maybe this is a wrong play. I'm going to get rid of the Farfinder because I've got the sources that I need. And I want this to be over. Is this going to work? There we are. Excellent. Okay, and then next. And then 1, 2, 3. 3 attackers. Okay, and then let's activate ability and tap. Cool. So 3, 6. I'm just gonna do that. Just in case there's any shenanigans there. No shenanigans. All right. So 12. Something's happening. Okay. So 1, 3 there. All right, I should still be okay. If I Spontaneous Flight, yeah. That'll be 3. 3, and that thing's not killing anything. I think we're good. Ah, nice play. There we go. Okay. Still, what's worth? So 1 is going to get blocked. So that'll be 3, 6. Yeah, I suppose let's just do this. Okay, so that's a 4/4. Now, I need to be a bit careful. So there's that. And is it worth going? So I could take 6, 7. Can nearly finish him, but I don't want to rush. Don't want to rush. Although, yeah, I'm going to just push it because I don't think he's going to kill me next turn. No, I should leave at least 1 blocker up. That's silly. So why am I doing that? So you go. You two go. I think I'm rushing a bit, but let's see. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Okay, well, let's get the extra life just in case. Right, end turn. Now let's see what he does. Hopefully he didn't draw anything spectacular. Nothing else with flying would be wonderful. Pass to attackers. I'm gonna take that. Yeah, Didn't leave the best blockers in the world up. I might be able to swing just to finish this game afterwards. I'm sure I've made many mistakes here. What are you thinking about, man? What are you thinking about? Okay, well, you have a think. I will wait patiently. Interesting. Definitely, yeah, definitely your initiative. Sorry, listeners. I'm trying to think of words to fill the void, but nothing's really coming. I just really want. To be honest, I really want it to be my turn. I'll feel safer then. Although I do know instants exist.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking about here, Ed. He's really taking his time.
Oh, hey, Philip. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, but there you go. There you go. We're nearly there. I hope he hasn't got another one of those.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Do your damage. Yeah, pass the damage. Okay, so my turn. Okay, I don't really want a land, but let's... Okay. Hopefully you haven't got any mad removal. Are you purposely waiting, sir?
Ed just passed. He's just falling face down on his keyboard.
All right, well, I hope not. Mostly for his own sake, but also it would be nice to wrap this up. All right. Okay, all attack. Go on, chaps. Yeah, I'm definitely doing the right thing. There we are. Okay, wonderful. Well done, flying creatures.
How's it feel, Ed? Your first Ikoria victory?
Oh man, yeah, it feels good. I suppose the biggest thing for me was when is actually a good time to mutate? Like, should I have gone? I don't think I should have gone any later, but should I have mutated something potentially earlier? And then also the actual doing of it took me by surprise. You know, that initial option to choose mutate and then over or under. But yeah, that was really fun. Really fun. What did you pick up on there?
I just thought the deck played very well. You know, it was such a fast clock for him there, and he just had no meaningful way to interact with you at all. You know, it was really nice to see. I think you were wise to not to lead Skycat and to lead the Skycat back. That was sensible. So it was.
I was really tempted just to.
No, I like leading Glimmerbell there. So I do, because then if he has removal, he might, you're baiting him to use it.
Yeah. I thought so, and at that point as well, it would just be a 1/1 out. Which even if I could get an attack in or two, I know that it can be a game of small edges, but still, I don't think it would have been worth jeopardizing our Skycat. So I'm glad you felt the same there. When would you have mutated? Like, would you have gone as broad as I went, or would you have focused down a bit?
No, I think you went pretty much as broad as I would have gone as well. Yeah. I would think what I would have done possibly would have been that I would have mutated when you played the Polywog symbiote. that meant that your mutate cost for the Vulpikeet was only 2, so you could have mutated it onto the Vulpikeet, mutated the Vulpikeet straight onto the Poliwag symbiote, and I might have gone for that.
Honestly, this is going to sound like I'm making this up. I meant to do that. I just got a bit confused, but because also I thought then that'll be, you know, another. I'll have 4 flyers immediately without even using spontaneous flight.
Yes. No, I think you're thinking of the time you mutated the Vulpikeet onto the Glimmerbell. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about, so the turn you played Skycat Sovereign.
Yes,
you
sir.
played Poliwag Symbiote and then Skycat Sovereign, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you played it. You could have actually just played Poliwag Symbiote and then immediately mutated the Vulpikeet onto him, because the Vulpikeet only costs 2 then, because it reduces the symbiote reduces the cost.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, sorry, man. No, that would have been great.
But maybe not. Maybe not, because then at the same time, then you won't have your Skycat Sovereign able to attack next turn, and like it changes the math a lot. So it's another way you could do it, but I think both are pretty reasonable. You know, because you do want to get your Skycat out there eventually. So I think both are pretty reasonable.
It was a really good opening hand.
It was.
Just maybe that's what you get at the start of seasons.
All 3 colors of our mana were there as well, which is great.
Yeah. And I think although we'd probably both be the first to admit that maybe we went a bit too creature heavy. You know, it is nice and simple. You know, many creatures that can fly, and that are relatively cheap. Well, in fact, they were all very cheap.
Yeah, no, I mean, this has got to be. I haven't, in all the drafts that I've done, I haven't put together a blue-white Flyers deck that looked like this. And I think it's a great deck. I think we would have liked a little bit more removal, but it's actually, the removal is quite fought over. So I think we did really well. I think you played really well, and just there's like I said, the possibility of mutating onto the Poliwag before playing the Skycat was an option, and then when you did mutate the Vulpikeet onto the, what do you call that fellow? The Glimmerbell. I would have mutated onto the Poliwag symbiote just to give yourself an extra flyer and spread it around a bit, you know.
Yeah.
That was literally it. That was literally it.
Okay. Well. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. I'm really looking forward to playing more Ikoria stuff now. Really looking forward to it. You know, I'd heard from you how enjoyable it was, and you know, the huge potential for shenanigans. You know, I enjoyed Mutate an awful lot there. And yes, I'm not sure. I mean, I appreciate this is a relatively quick post-game analysis in this case, but I'm not sure I've too much else to say there. I mean, things did just go well, and I suppose usually when things go well, there's not quite so much to talk about. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
No, but the deck did what it was designed to do. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. We prioritized flyers where we could, and then Mutate sort of came across into that as well. So it bled into it. Mutate tends to blend into all decks. You know, you'll usually always have a couple of Mutate creatures knocking around. So I think we just struck a really nice balance, and the speed of the game is testament to how streamlined the deck was. You know, our Skycat Sovereign was a 4/4 or a 5/5 most of the game. So that was a 2/2. So for 2 mana, we got a 5/5 essentially that can make other creatures. So I think we really maximized it, and to see it in our opening hand, you get to see how the deck plays with it. I'm very glad that we got to see that to show our hard work. You know, because we had to draft it that way. You know, it didn't happen by accident. So I think what we got is an affirmation of our deck building. You know, an affirmation of what we were trying to do. We succeeded.
And actually, yes. Speaking of the drafting process, I meant to ask you earlier, when we've spoken about draft before, you know, we've spoken about the importance of remaining open for as long as is reasonably possible. You know, there does come a time when you need to settle on something, but nonetheless, it's good to remain open whilst you can. But I noticed at the beginning of this draft, pack one, pick one even, you know, after having gone for the Sky Cat. I remember you saying essentially, right, we are white and blue. Was there any reason for that certitude there? Is that anything to do with the format? Or was it just how you were feeling at the time? What was behind that, man?
Well, I suppose we can examine like the concept of staying open. So like, why do we stay open? Like, for what reason are we trying to stay open during a draft?
So we can remain, if a bomb comes along, we're more likely to be able to incorporate it because we're more likely to be either in that particular color, or we're more likely to be able to make a relatively easy jump.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's why we stay open, right? So we can, if we can have the option to play a bomb if we open it. And the thing is, we already opened a bomb. Like, I don't think it's so far. I don't think it's going too far to say the Skycat Sovereign is it's probably not a full on bomb, but it's got a very high power level.
It worked very well a moment ago.
Yeah, it has a lot of things going for it.
Mm.
And I mean, the issue then is, if you're trying to stay open so that you can play bombs, why not try and cut off certain colors so you can play bombs as well?
So if you essentially start with a bomb that you can with a pretty good degree of success build around, you're saying that kind of defeats not quite defeats the object, but renders it pointless staying open, because you've already found your bomb.
Yeah, I mean, the idea being that we weren't blue-white, but we were going to try and be blue-white, So when you open a card like that, it's powerful. It's well worth taking it. And the idea then is that we want to see if the blue's coming, see if the white's coming. And if it is, we're not going to fight against that. We're going to take the blue and the white where possible. But that still doesn't mean that you should pick bad cards that just so you can play them.
Okay.
So it's a constant, I suppose, a weighing up of is this card good on its own? So say, imagine you're just say it's pick 6 and you get it's a white card. You have to ask yourself, is this card good? Is this a good white card? Regardless. And if it's a good white card, then you'll be more biased towards picking that white card and trying to stay on color.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that in pack 7, if you open what is a very medium white card, a very medium blue card, maybe even a bad blue card, and there's a strong red card, I mean, you should still take that strong red card.
And I suppose we did actually splash red. I mean, I know in literally one case, but that was also a bomb, wasn't it? And we were still able to accommodate. That was our Everquill Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to splash for more than a couple of cards. If you're splashing for 2 or 3 cards, if you're splashing with 3 cards, 4 cards, you're not splashing anymore.
It's tricolor.
You're just 3. Yeah, you're just 3 color, more or less. I mean, not precisely, but more or less. So we were trying to take the draft in a direction where we could play our strong card if possible, but we were also not blindly forcing blue and white and just taking all the blue and white cards and building a deck. We wanted to see if the deck was there to be built, if we could build a blue-white sort of flying mutate deck around that card, and we were in a situation where we could. There was never a situation where, apart from when we picked Everquill Phoenix, where the cards in other colors were good enough for us to say, okay, I'm not going to take this average white card. I'm going to take the stronger card. Most of the time, the cards were of an appreciable level or a comparable power level, and then we're more inclined to take the card that lets us play the very strong card that we already have.
Yeah, no, okay, I understand perfectly. So, the Sky Cat gave us an initial groove that we could happily follow, but not force. If it wasn't to be, it wasn't to be, and the sensible thing would have been to, look elsewhere. But yeah, like you said, I mean, thinking back to the draft, yeah, there wasn't anything that really caught our eye. In fact, the one thing that really did, the Everquill Phoenix, we did splash for. I mean, I know we've just played one game and let me know if you feel differently anyway. But I also like that I think our synergy really paid off there. Like I remember when we were drafting, we picked up 3 of those squirrels, and there was a few other times I thought, these cards aren't particularly high power. You know, there's none of them that have any real oomph behind them. Well, not quite none of them, but you know, there aren't that many. But regardless, you know, they all came together very, very nicely, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a 2/2 flyer is not going to get you dead very quickly. It's going to take 10 turns unanswered to finish an opponent. But if you're getting packed all the time by small flyers, it's very hard for you to answer that. You know, I mean, if almost every card we're playing out of our hands is a small flyer, our opponent's in a lot of trouble because you know they're just they a lot of their creatures. Most draft decks just don't have an abundance of flyers. So they're either going to have their own flyer to sort of try and block our flyers, so they're going to need a reach creature, which there are not an abundance of in this format either.
Yeah.
And so it's valuable. So it's a death by 1,000 cuts, you know.
Yeah, they demand answers, don't they? They demand answers because they're essentially, well, they're unblockable unless there is something with reach or flying out there. So they do demand answers, especially if they're numerous. Yeah,
so
well,
has to be bigger. Everyone has to be bigger and more aggressive than us. So like their opponent needs to be hitting us for more damage on the backswing than we're hitting with our wee flyers. Then that's when the deck would fall apart. You know, if just he is a couple of 4/4s. You know, we're getting in for 6, but he's hitting us back for 8. You know.
Yeah. There was, and also there were. I mean, I think we got away with things quite comfortably there, but you could kind of see things possibly having gone that way. You know, he had far more cards in his hand. You know, he definitely had card advantage. I was very much at the tail end. In fact, I had nothing in my hand by the end. Perhaps a Tranquil Cove already. I can't quite remember if I cast that towards the end. But so you could see, because he had those 3/3s on the ground. So there was some of that, you know, because if I'd been forced into blocking, that would have started to remove flyers or tie up valuable attackers. You know, I might have had to hang back with the Skycat to soak up a bit of damage. But fortunately, we were able to get out of the gate so quickly that it was too little too late on his part, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive start. Fortunately for us, it was a very aggressive start from our deck. It's actually quite an aggressive deck, and it wants to get them dead pretty quick. It's a very aggressive deck. But the cool thing was, and this is why the Skycat is so useful, is turned into a big flyer, yes, and we were out of cards in our hand at that point. But that's when we can just start making one ones.
Yeah, the mana sink. Yeah.
So if we it turns all the lands that like would be a dead draw until there's just more cats, man. More Skycats.
More Skycats, more power for the Skycat Sovereign, aptly named. Well, that was a blast, man. And I think let me just have I think that's it from me, man. Is there anything you'd like to say by way of closing, or is there another topic you'd like to begin? It's entirely up to you.
Just to round off on the sort of following your first pick. It's sensible to follow your first pick if you're being given the information that tells you that the groove that you called it, and I like that term, that the groove is there, the groove is open, and you can follow it, right? It's not sensible to follow it into oblivion, where you're obviously picking vastly inferior cards just so you can play the Skycat Sovereign, because then the potential power that the Skycat Sovereign offers you is offset by the duds that you're playing in your deck.
Yeah.
So if you imagine, say, like Skycat offers you a power of 10, right? But then you're picking all these cards that essentially are just dragging that power down consistently. So if you've won 10 in your deck and the rest are 5s, it's going to even out that 10 doesn't really matter. Whereas if you have 10 in your deck and the rest are 7s, you know, it means your deck on average is just more powerful. And the one thing about Skycat Sovereign to notice is that it can be splashed, and it was in the back of my mind, and it probably was mentioned in the draft as well, that even if white dries up or blue dries up, we might still be able to have a base blue deck or base white deck and splash the other half of Skycat Sovereign. Because although he is a 2-drop, playing him out in turn 2 isn't usually a good idea. So it's a splashable card, because really you'd like to play him in turn 6 or
And
7 where you sorry?
No, sorry, I spoke over you, but I was going to say, yeah, and we waited just then in that game. It wasn't something that we wanted out immediately.
Yeah, you don't want to unnecessarily expose it, right, to the dangers of draft, right? But the beauty is, because you're inclined to do that, and it's sensible to do that, I think. That means that it doesn't matter if you cast Skycat Sovereign on turn 6 if you're waiting for your extra for your splash land, because you can just, when you do play them out, then you're sort of safe. So splashing a 2-drop's never a good idea, but that's only if you're gonna want to play them on turn 2.
Yes.
So I think we were always very safe. We could follow the blue and the white if it showed up, and we could very easily splash the Skycat and move into another color. So it could have been blue red or white red or any sort of combination, and just splash the other half of the Skycat.
Yeah. No, thanks for that explanation. That's that's made things really clear, man. Thank you for that. That's a nice note to finish on. And I suppose we'll have to see you next time, everyone. Or hello, Damien. But yeah, Philip, thanks once again, man. I'm really enjoying doing this with you. I'm learning an awful lot, and I look forward to our next episode. And for those who are listening, Philip and I are trying to sort of do them once a fortnight, and so getting them out, by the time that we've edited them and whatnot and uploaded them, which can take about 10 years, probably come out once every 3 weeks or so. So we'll try and keep to that schedule.
Yeah, that'd be great. I look forward to it. I'm really excited for our next one, and I wish you all the best with the rest of this draft, and hopefully you get a trophy under your belt. That'd be nice.
Oh man,
first draft, first trophy.
That'll be wonderful. I won't get my hopes up, but that would be wonderful. And yes, listener, at the beginning of our next episode, I'll let you all know how things fared with this particular deck. So from me, that is goodbye.
Yeah, that's goodbye from me also. Take care, everyone.